How many of us have them friends?
9 to 5.
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 Top, I'd say
So nappy headed today.
like a runaway ET, black
Do
ET
not.
slave.
I was about to make a Don Imus joke, but I don't want to get canceled.
Ah!
10 seconds into the pod.
Nappy headed hoe. That nigga really said that shit like,
Sure did.
fuck it. He said,
Who's
fuck
the
it.
nappy headed hoe?
He said
Don
that about
Imus.
the Rutgers women's
Oh,
basketball
the Rutgers
team.
woman.
That was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a decade ago.
I remember that.
A bunch of nappy headed hoe. What a
Wow.
That nigga was getting it in. But anyways,
Very wild.
I'm top 3 most mustiest niggas in Chicago right now. I've been in the car for the past damn near 2 days. But is that a money machine?
Nah, it's a Theragun.
Kyle, you in a fucking trap house? Kyle lives. Is it drugs? What's going on?
It's a Theragun. You have one yourself.
No, I do not. That was literally.
It's broken.
That was
It's a
Theraguns are
Theragun.
expensive.
That was literally.
I work for a
fucking money
nonprofit,
machine.
Danny. What kind of trap house do you think I live in?
Yeah, non-profit for broke niggas. You are a drug lord, and we all know it. That's a perfectly good alibi. I'm gonna say that too. I'm a non-profit. When I get canceled, I'm gonna say I run a non-profit. You can't cancel me because I run a non-profit.
That's not how that works.
It does work.
Good
Okay.
luck.
That
Good luck
means
with that.
absolutely nothing.
Whatever you think was normal doesn't matter anymore. But anyways, episode 141 of the 9 to 5 podcast, the blackest and most misogynistic podcast in all the land.
Excuse me?
My name is Danny.
You get Torrance, when did we become the most misogynistic podcast? I don't know about that one, but you got Kyle here.
And Chad.
And Torrance. And the reason
I
I
don't
said
want to
that
get
from
associated with the most
some of
misogynistic.
the,
Me
some of
neither.
the comments that Torrance and Kyle made before we recorded were pretty toxic, and I'm honestly upset about it. But we're not going to go into too much detail. But
Honestly,
know that
Danny, I've been
there's some
recording.
healing. There is some healing that needs to be done, and I'm bringing you to the red table. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm bringing myself to the red table, okay? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Well, we're going to talk about that later, but let's talk about it, y'all.
Do you think the red table is always there? They just bring that shit in. Like, anyways, follow us on social media at 9 to 5 Podcast on
Danny said
all
we eat
platforms.
Sandwiches at the.
Right. Are they eating like cold cuts? Like,
There's like onions dropping
I
all
don't
over the
think the
place.
Smith family has ever eaten cold cuts. They too rich for that.
and then like every time you sit down, like all of a sudden lights come down on you, like music plays, like dun 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 dun. Oh shit.
Basically, oh shit, my bad. We
Right.
forgot to turn it off.
Right. Anyways, and also I forgot. I've been forgetting to say this lately. Give us perfect fucking ratings on iTunes and SoundCloud.
5 stars only.
5-star. We haven't gotten any.
I'm a 5-star bitch. So I'm sorry.
See the misogyny that I'm talking about.
He said
It's like-
he's a 5-star bitch. He didn't say
But then he said bitch. So he's obviously talking to.
no. But
No,
he said
that's
but
what you
No.
see.
the quote. The quote
No,
was,
no.
"I'm a
Let's talk about
5-star bitch."
misogyny.
It
Wait a
wasn't.
minute.
It wasn't 5 stars, bitch. It was I'm a 5-star bitch.
Okay, well that's how I perceived it.
You see, that's
You
the misogyny in your
that's-
head.
My opinion,
exactly. That's
patriarchy.
the toxic masculinity to you.
That's how I received it,
Mm.
and my opinion matters.
You hear what you want to
Targeting.
hear.
A specific gender, which it had nothing to do with. That is you and the way that you
Mhm.
Look
think about
at you.
that word.
Look at you. You nasty.
How many minutes?
That is my opinion, and the fact that you're diminishing my.
What's this?
my
5 minutes?
it is
barely
Five
5
fucking
minutes. Not
minutes.
even 5 minutes in.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you're showing your black ass right now.
And that's colorism. What else are you going to?
No idea. That's facts. That's what that is.
That is. This is. You're showing your. I'm calm. You know, I'm calm. I'm relaxed. You know, I'm just tired of black men. These black on black jokes. Anyways, give us perfectly 5-star ratings. Listen to this fucking podcast all the way through. and tell people about it. If you're listening to it right now, go text someone and say, "Hey, I have a fantastic podcast with some great men that are working on themselves. They do." And and tell somebody about it and share it and retweet it, and so we can grow, so we can do this full time. I know we surpassed 1 million listeners last month, right? For the first time,
million and a half, I think it
million
was,
and a
something like
half.
that.
Yeah, so it's been a crazy steady climb, but I'm proud of the team here. Even the team that's helped us go virtual. So that's been super dope and exciting. And like I said, I'm happy that we've built such a massive thing here that we've been able to touch
we got
so many.
some junior staffers coming on to run our social media for us. Got a team of
Right.
producers every week.
And then the fact that we've been able to, what's been super dope is the fact that during these times, we've been able to really rely on this to like be a source of income for us.
Absolutely.
And just make money.
Haven't missed a bill yet, thanks to 9 to 5.
It's like, with everything going on, this has been the one thing that like, okay, at least we have this.
Woo!
Okay, but we do have that actual sponsor this week. Super legit. So this is a legitimate sponsor, so I'm not joking. First time ever. But our cousins, people that we love near and dear to our hearts and keep near to our hearts. Boat Exchange, the most convenient way to buy black. 3-day delivery, and they specialize in home and self-care during the Rona. So you need coffee, candles, then they have socks. Anything you need, black-owned businesses. Bold Exchange website is boldxchang.com, and use the code.
You forgot the E at the end of exchange.
I'm sorry.
You've been reading off a phone. You can't spell.
That is extremely toxic. But use the code 9TO5, 9 to 5, to get 10% off of all of your purchases. Once again, Bold Exchange, the most convenient way to buy black, founded by a beautiful black couple, Doug and Danny, fellow Elon alumni. And yeah, shout out to Bold Exchange. I was talking to Doug last week or so, and they're doing it. They were featured on a couple different publications, I think.
New York
Mag, and some other health magazine. So they're really blowing up, man. So shout out to Bold Exchange. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to all the black entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Making money off of their ventures, just like us.
Absolutely.
What else? Other than that, how are we doing? How was your slavery Independence Day?
Oh, you mean that Saturday that happened? It was like the 4th of the month. I think it was 15 days after Juneteenth that day.
Yeah.
Let's see.
How was your National Glizzy Day? That's what they need to change the name. The Glizzy of July.
Well, every 4th I read Frederick Douglass's "What to the Slave is the 4th of July" speech. My dad got me reading that when I was like in high school or so. So I still read it every 4th after I've had my morning cup of coffee. And it's a long speech and takes me a while to read. So I read that to, ground myself, remind myself that day ain't for us. And then kind of just watch TV. Staying inside. I ain't do shit.
That's tight.
I watched Hamilton. I felt like
how is that?
Okay, y'all. So,
did you see it live or no?
Did not see it live. Could not afford to see it live.
And is it? Sorry to interrupt.
Danny, you will not go. What are we about to ask?
I go to plays, nigga. I'm cultured. The fuck's wrong? I'm a performer of the arts.
Go ahead, Danny.
I'm an artist.
No, go ahead.
You said you're an arsonist?
I'm an artist, and before Corona happened, I was of
Danny,
the
go ahead
stage.
and ask
I was
the
a
question.
performer.
You were asking.
Nah, because niggas like you love to hate on niggas like me. And
I'm not hating.
It's showing
I'm
itself.
gonna tell you this. I need to watch it again because I was not expecting it to be that way, and trying to find.
Is that way good or bad?
I'm trying to find I'm not saying that there is no need for there to be hype about the play itself, the musical itself, but it was I need to watch it again, and I need to watch it with subtitles, and I need to not have champagne while I'm.
They're rapping the whole time, right? Are they
There
rapping?
is no dialogue. They are rapping and singing the entire.
That's a bit much even for a
The
musical.
entire. I was overwhelmed, and I'm a singing ass motherfucker. I was overwhelmed watching it. Wasn't expecting. I thought there was going to be some dialogue throughout. I thought it was going to be but like, it was just melodic. It was melodic rapping and singing the entire 2+ hours. It was 2 hours and like 40 minutes. I want to say.
Was Lin-Manuel was he in the actual show?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in it.
He was in it. Leslie Odom Jr. was in it. So many just like fantastic people who I enjoy as like a music person in the musical theater, I guess, buff, if you will. I enjoy them as artists. It was still like, whoa, wait a second, I need to watch this again.
My mama rushed to watch it. She had me like show her how to get into Disney Plus and everything. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I will watch it.
I think you should watch it.
I'm not going to rush to watch it. I know that.
I need to watch it again. And it may be a tonight thing where I watch it again, but I can't say it was bad. Like I can't say it was a bad musical because I don't think it was. It was just overwhelming. It's about history. It's a storyline. You have to follow it. It's not as jovial as those other shows can be, where there's a lot of, fairy tale and fictitious, themes throughout.
Yeah.
It was I don't want to call it yet, so I'll wait till next week to call it.
Okay.
Acceptable.
Is it shot from the perspective of like a theater, or is it like a live action? Like, is it
it's it's in the theater. It's shot in the theater during a performance.
So it looks like almost like a stand-up special, like the way it's shot.
It looks like you're sitting from the crowd.
Yeah,
like you're watching it from the
but
crowd.
it's different angles. Like it's in,
right.
Like
Okay.
it's professionally done. So it's like different angles and different places, but it is set as if you're watching, I guess, a comedy special. If you
got it.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Yeah, for a quick second.
Yeah,
I was like, what the hell? I was like, what the hell's going on?
See, niggas like you is why we can't just see when things go wrong, Torrance. Sometimes you just go with it, but the fact that
no, but I thought y'all would. What you did.
Okay, but what you got to understand is
you didn't continue
technology
on
because it froze, Torrance. And during these times,
do you know how many times
we
just kept talking and kept going?
No, but you froze. So what you saw was there was a lapse, so you couldn't see. I was moving.
Anyway, go watch Hamilton. Form your own opinion. I do not think that it's a bad show. I just think that it was a lot to take in, and I can't wait to rewatch it with subtitles.
Torrance is saying that even though these people might be gatekeepers in his own profession, that he does not like their work, and that even if he needs them for a job one day, fuck them. On to Black History Fact of the Day.
No, please don't say that because I'm a fan. And I cannot take that.
Remember in pre-production you said,
"Stop! Do not do that to me. I'm gonna be a famous nigga one day. You can't be talking like this. Don't be slandering.
But I think at a certain point,
honestly, Lin-Manuel is probably gonna listen to this episode too.
He's gonna listen specifically to this episode. No, because
I'm gonna name it like Torrance's Hamilton review.
You saw what they did to like Jimmy Fallon and everybody. They go to their archive, they read their stuff.
I have shit too, Torrance. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I've already said enough things on this podcast that is going to ruin my career. So
that's valid.
So now I'm taking you motherfuckers with me.
What?
That's his objective now. Is to
now. If you think for 1 second I'm Nino Brown, if you motherfuckers think that if I go down this whole fucking situation, I'm Nino Brown right before he gets shot. That's me. Okay.
You need help.
Yeah, I'm sleepy. I've been on the fucking road. Black History Fact.
We're going to skip forward a little bit. July 9th in 1947, former professional football player and professional wild boy O.J. Simpson was born.
Professional wild boy, the first nigga to successfully fuck and kill white women
And get away with it.
and get away and go to jail, then come back on the same shit. That's a wild ass nigga.
Fun fact with his birthday, Ford, the car company, is bringing back the Bronco.
They are.
And they were supposed to actually unveil it on July 9th. And then like they had put out that they were going to unveil it on July 9th. And then somebody pointed out that's OJ's birthday. And they were like, they put out a statement. They were like, we're moving back our date. We didn't realize that it coincided with something that was like that was not on purpose. It was a complete accident. So they pushed the reveal back like 4 days. But at first they were going to reveal the Bronco on OJ's birthday.
About that life, I would have loved that. I would have loved that.
Nah.
Shout out to OJ. That nigga. I made a joke about this. I feel like OJ is like the ultimate underdog story for niggas in the judicial system. He's like the Miracle on Ice, the Little Giants, the fucking Cavaliers down from 3-1. Like that
the
nigga
Mighty
gives
Ducks.
hope.
He's the
Mighty Ducks. He gives hope to any nigga that caught a charge. Like, okay, remember that one time that fucking OJ was down? He killed a white bitch and her boyfriend in LA. Blood on him.
But he ruined it for all black people moving forward.
DNA evidence and got away with it. That can be us. We got a chance.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we fucking can.
Yes, we can.
Speaking of July the 9th, shout out to my best friend. Her birthday's on there. A little Juju. That's my girl. Happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
So, Torrance, how about your weekly news updates?
Happy birthday to you.
Kanye West said that he is running for...
Happy birthday, niggas. Happy birthday to my niggas.
I'm sorry.
Happy
Danny says that he's running for
niggas.
president of 2020.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I'm sorry. I was right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Kanye West said that he was running for president in 2020.
Yeah, some of these topics are, we missed Monday. We're coming out late. Fuck, yeah. It's stupid. It's lame. You know, I think...
It's a distraction. That's all it is.
As much as I was listening to another podcast, because most people have already talked about this, but as much as I wanted to, like, at least respect Kanye, he just makes it very hard to do so. Mm-hmm. It's like...
He's going out sad. Real sad.
Right. It's like you're becoming a caricature of yourself. Like, why? Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? First of all, you can't legally even do it. Second of all, even if you were, you're not solving shit. You're literally you have mental health issues. You have zero experience, and you just for the first time ever built a business up successfully. Like, what makes you think you could run a country and you just got easy off the ground? At least Donald Trump, even with his phase of his businesses, like, was in business and like had employees for decades. As fucked up as he is, at minimum, he at least did that. Kanye, you were a rapper that maybe had a couple personal assistants and some homies running errands for you, and now all of a sudden, like, it just pisses me off. I saw some other celebrities tweeting about it and shit, like, oh, Kanye's a genius. He's smarter than other people. We gotta stop. We have to normalize using celebrities only for their art, and that is it. These
absolutely
do not deserve the time or the energy to think that they're these fucking profound people. Unless they truly prove themselves to be.
Oh, absolutely. I full-heartedly agree with that.
Like, I would never teach my kids to look up as an athlete automatically as a role model, because they're fucking not. If you want to be LeBron or you want to be fucking whatever, Charles Barkley, like, that's, for me, and those individuals, I can respect both of those men as much, because I can shoot well, that does not automatically make me
a role model.
A role model, or even qualified to speak on certain issues. Sure, I'm in the public light, so yeah, I'm going to have influence whether I like it or not. But as far as a role model, something that someone should, like, you're opting in to, like, lead people, a lot of these motherfuckers are stupid, but they just so happen to
platform.
Sing really well, or fucking be able to act extremely well, or shoot a jump shot. But fuck these niggas.
yeah.
That's enough, Kanye. How about the person that's actually in charge of the country?
Real
Yeah,
quick, no, you saw No Name tweeted some stupid shit. Sorry, she had tweeted something about like backtrack, like almost saying the same shit J. Cole said, like, I don't have all the answers too. I just a nigga that be reading books. Like, I don't know. I'm just tired of all these fucking famous people who are just talking out of their ass.
I mean, that's not what J. Cole said. He said he don't be reading books. And
but it was that self-deprecating of like, I don't have all the answers. I don't know shit. And maybe
well, I think that's the reality, right? A lot of people are in this light, and like who said that the other, like a while ago when Cardi B, like, oh, what do you think about girls who look up to me? She said, I'm not doing this for the girls that look up to me. I'm doing this for me. I'm living my life. I'm handling my business. It ain't about somebody looking up to me as a role model. If that's what you want to do, sure. If that's, if you want to look at me as a role model, go ahead and do your thing. But that's not what I'm doing out here. And I think that a lot of people we see representation. We want them to represent who we are. But then we look at these people who were role models, and they some fucked up people. We think about people who we didn't know. I mean, at least for me growing up, about, like Bill Cosby and those people who we respected and loved and cherished or whatever. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, role model. That's why it hit people so hard, because we look at these people as saints, and like you said, they have a talent. They are creative. They're able to produce something that's seen as genius like. And when they're human, their humanness, right? Their human ability. Like, people do weird shit behind closed doors. That's what I've learned over this corona shit. People are doing weird shit behind closed doors. And that's the reality. Like, people are people first, and then they just happen to know how to do things.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it was just, specifically for that situation, it wasn't like a huge, profound thought I had on it. I was just like disappointed when I saw it, just because she did have content related to that stuff. So at that point, once I'm speaking out towards things and for things and on behalf of maybe movements, I think you do kind of put yourself out there to be someone that people are looking, maybe if not lead, to at least influence them, because you're speaking about it specifically. Yeah. So, and I can't find the tweet right now, but it was just like, it was almost kind of what I wanted to say was just like, still stand on your toes. Like, she could have deleted it or whatever, and the tweet was just like, it was kind of just like almost diminishing what she's been saying by just saying, like, I don't really know, I'm not whatever. It's like,
but I ain't shit though, so
right. It's almost like when you give somebody advice.
I don't know shit.
It's like when you give somebody advice, and it's like, but if it fucks your life up, they got like, don't do that.
What I
like,
mean?
Nobody has. I don't give a fuck who you are. No one has all the answers. Like, as much as we love to look at some of these very smart, profound people, no one necessarily has all of the exact answers. It's all theory, because it's not a perfect science. There's so many different variables that can happen if we implemented a abolishment of the police, or we implemented, whatever, no prisons. Like, there's so many things that we have to think of and think through to like make sure that they actually work. So no one has it's a science. It's not like just a art. So it just kind of like bothered me. Like, no, nigga, like, just stay on your toes and just keep fighting. Don't fucking tweet like, well, one thing I say isn't right, I told you so. Like, no, nigga, just be strong. Like, I don't know. I'm being nitpicky and I'm in a bad mood. I'm not really in a bad mood.
I can tell.
Yeah,
but it just like,
your heart.
Just like, if you're gonna speak out on something, just fucking speak out on it, and don't give us a disclaimer. I don't want a disclaimer. Especially in the tweet form. If it's a content you're giving me and you're having a conversation with somebody, you can maybe give more context as to why you feel this way about yourself. Maybe sure, but
I got you.
You're smart. Go fucking, you read books, fucking regurgitate what you said. Don't just act like, well, the advice, I'm not shit, so.
Yeah, well, like I said, I would never backtrack on the things that I've said on this podcast, so we're fine. 45 demands that colleges reopen in the fall. And for all those people who are international students, I said, you got to go to fuck back home if it's online classes. So
yeah,
hell is breaking.
It's nasty, bro.
Up. This is
real nasty.
Woo, this this is bad, y'all. This is getting really.
I was just talking to
really
Ashley
bad.
about this. I don't know. I don't understand I did not understand the purpose, the benefit of this until Ashley told me that she was reading something or somebody told her or whatever. You know, she's in grad school, and she was saying that for these schools, a lot of these liberal schools, a lot of these schools that are in the situation are like liberally ran schools, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he's trying to do is, what she theorizes, or what this source theorizes, is that Trump is trying to force these schools to actually have in-person classes, rather than, you know, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to have to force people, like they don't want to be the reason kids, they're trying to force for them to be the reason all these people cannot stay in America, essentially. The onus be on the schools and not the fucking president, which in reality, if ICE is kicking niggas out for that reason, that's not the school's fault.
Yeah, there's no choice.
That's what it
for
is.
the most part.
A school is not going to be like, international students, sorry, we don't want your money.
Right.
We don't want your, we don't want your patron. We don't want anything.
Right, that's the thing. They would need that. The
Yeah.
schools need the money. They want the money. They need the money too. But they don't have.
They get a
school. Yeah,
they
a
get
school can barely stop.
It's
Well, a lot of the schools tout how they have all these international students, and like that's a big selling point that a lot of, including our alma mater, uses like in their brochures and their advertising and all that type of stuff. So it's going to look real funny in the light if they don't find some creative way to help out their international students, whether it's like offering like a small 1 or 2 credit course that they can just come to campus one day a week and then take the rest of their classes like online or whatever, like the rest of the student body would. But I would really hope that a lot of these universities figure out something where their student body, a portion of their student body, isn't being deported because they can't go to class in person. Yeah,
that's a good idea, because we definitely had that little Elon 101 class. That was like 1 credit or something. But no, it's fucked up, and it's just like some nasty shit that's going on in our country, and it's making it harder and harder. I mean, America's always been fucked up, but it's just making it harder and harder to, like, I mean, be here is like one word to use, but just be patriotic.
It makes it so hard to be
like, to be even like want to ride for America. It's like, how could we ever?
Why?
I ain't never thought of America as some place that I'm about to ride for. I never thought of it like that.
But even just like the subtle, just like even being patriotic about the fucking Olympics, or just like being like wanting to, I don't know, just
I
like
get what you're saying.
Having some faith in like in just maybe the idea of America. But like this shit that's going down, especially 4 more years of this, with you going into the second term with momentum, I can only imagine where we're going to be as a country.
Have you seen Mad Max?
Yeah, no, it's fucking crazy.
I would imagine some
it's just a
variation of that.
Like, kicking international students out, literally for what?
It's like, and those aren't the supposed rapists and villains that he paints most immigrants out to be. Those are the kids that are in school getting an education,
the job stealers and the
Could you imagine being a 19, 20, 21-year-old and just having to like uproot yourself? Say, especially if you just got here this summer, or you're about to, you maybe got an apartment, and just imagine having to do that.
That's like not even financially feasible for everyone to do.
Right, and some of these countries aren't even taking people from the U.S. And then you got maybe some people that they can't afford it, but maybe it's some people, they were already on here with, not a lot of money, or planning on getting a job here, and all of a sudden they are here illegally. Like, it's just so fucked up on so many levels. And I'm sure there's, in some backwards way, it's also affecting Black and brown people more. But just in general, whether you're rich or poor, that's even such a fucked up idea to try to force people to go back to school. Colleges can barely contain STD outbreaks and mono outbreaks. How the fuck are they going to fucking maintain or flatten the curve of corona? There's no fucking way. You got people, you got bars, you got dorms, you got people going to get food, you got all this shit. There's no fucking libraries.
Elon put out like a thing today on Instagram where it was talking about what they're going to be doing in the fall, and I was like, this is not going to work. None of this is enforceable. Think about how dirty college and nasty college students are. it's going to take a couple of college students to die on campus for something to change.
Just think,
It's
having
gonna
people
have to
share
happen.
rooms. Half these motherfuckers don't even sleep 6 feet away from people in these dorm rooms. There is no social. You got bunk beds, or even if you're on opposite sides of the room, I don't think I was more than 6 feet away from. I was maybe barely 6 feet away.
Yeah,
from
the beds were probably about 6 feet away.
My freshman
realistically.
So it's just nasty. I don't want to be too negative, but it's just been so much shit off of this news segment that I've been looking at, and it's just like, how can you motherfuckers possibly support this? Like, once again, if you're just a natural Republican and you just like taxes and shit, ultimately maybe I can somewhat respect you and understand your perspective because you're just selfish in that way. And Democrats aren't perfect either. But nigga, just voting and supporting Trump right now, you're and there's another rant. I should probably have this on the ring, but fuck it. There's this black gun enthusiast. I kind of have gotten into guns a little bit, and he was saying he voted for Trump last time. He was probably going to vote for Trump again, and the interviewer was like, there's a white boy kind of pressing him, but it's like not really. This white boy wasn't super informed, nor should a white person really be trying to have this conversation. White dude especially, because you just don't get it. And he was saying, like, for Hillary, he knew that there was potentially two Supreme Court seats going to be changed in this next 4 years. And he knew that I think it was split 50-50. And whoever was president, Democrat or Republican, in their Supreme Court nominee was going to shift the power essentially and be able to potentially affect gun laws adversely to what he would want. And then he also mentioned like taxes. He's like, I own a corporation. He's like, he has a YouTube and shit like that. So he's like, I own a corporation, so I want to pay less taxes. And so listening to that, and if someone, it's a regular white person or whatever off the street, those might seem like logical. Because he gave reasons. He gave articulate, calm reasons as to why he voted for Trump. But niggas, what's pissing me off a lot is that your first interest should not be because you want to have a bunch of fucking guns, because the guns aren't going to go away in America. I don't give a fuck if you
they're not
have
going anywhere.
Bernie Sanders and somebody's trans, black, female, gay uncle who doesn't like this. They're never going away. Like the most liberal Karens of Karens, they're not going away. Don't make that face, Torrance. I was just I was exaggerating. They're never going to go away. The point I was trying to make is your interest should not be, maybe I have to have less clips in my fucking gun, or certain guns are outlawed, or I have to pay 10% more tax. Your first interest should be being fucking black. Because that's the first thing when you're walking into a fucking job interview, when you get pulled over, when you trying to buy a fucking house. All that shit is the first thing that you got to overcome, whether you're gay, straight, rich or poor. That should be your first fucking interest. And Trump being president fucks that interest a lot. So just to hear that nigga say that, I watched that video maybe a week ago, and I've still been bothered by it, because if my interest of being a nigga and my life would be a little bit better being a nigga, being black, a black man, and then that means I have to pay maybe 10% more in taxes, or instead of having 10 guns, I got to have 5 or whatever the fuck it is. So be it. I can live with that.
Yeah, but I think it's all about where you place value in your life. It's value based on your experiences.
Yeah, sure, but it's just
whatever. But I get it.
Some of these niggas is just
they're
like
not wrong.
These corny ass niggas, like, bro, you niggas are corny as fuck. Like, trust me, I love white people. I got a lot of white allies, but these niggas fucking these white chicks and go to these white schools and get out of the hood once, and they try to act like they forget, like, just because they do a couple interviews with niggas and they care about black people so much that it doesn't fucking. You're still a nigga, bro. You're still
Danny,
black as fuck. So stop trying to. No, this is. I'm already tired.
I know.
This is heavy on your heart.
And I've been stuck in the car for literally 24 hours in the past week. So I've had a lot of time to think about this shit, and it just and I know niggas in real life that are like this too. They may have grown up in lower middle class or lower class, and they maybe got a little degree, a punk ass degree or something, and then they think they made it. They're capitalism and capitalism is the best thing ever, and we gotta pull ourselves about that. I made it, so why don't the first time you get pulled over or you don't get a fucking job or you get denied something, you're gonna be reminded very fast that you're still a nigga. So stop trying to act like all this other shit fucking matters. And if you got bread, paying your little extra 10% in taxes or paying for healthcare for somebody else,
you're right.
Premiums going up doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, if you got money. Doesn't fucking matter. I
think realistically, one of the other main issues is America is a country of individualism, and no one works towards the greater good, which is one of the primary reasons why the Rona ain't never going away in this country like it is in other countries. People are too worried about the individual impact on their own life instead of worrying about the greater good. And I think a lot of Trump supporters are thinking about what the impact of Trump is on their individual life and not the horrible impact he has on millions of other people and what his impact is across the globe. So
the fact that we have to convince people that we should at least wear masks and just be cautious. And I drove from Chicago down to southern Georgia this week. So I'm Tennessee, whatever, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, whatever. And in a lot of these states, you don't have to have masks on and shit. And it's just it's just to see that we have to convince people that this is serious. And even if it is just the flu, nigga, now there's 2 flus. Even if it is just the flu, there's two flus.
Multiple strains of the flu. The difference between the flu and this, vaccines. Vaccines, the big part.
Right.
Herd immunity.
Right. We have 2 flus now, at least.
And it's at the very least, exactly. At the very least, I guess, if you want to categorize this as a flu, like influenza, which
is an oversimplification, but yeah,
oversimplification of how how this particular virus, how it mutates. They don't understand how it's mutating. They don't understand they don't understand so much of it, of how
still all the symptoms
being. All the symptoms, if you catch the flu, you catching the flu. You know what I mean? No, nobody did you're gonna get sick. You may not have severe cough and lungs and all that stuff if you have the flu. Everyone has had those symptoms.
But also you're probably gonna bounce back in a couple weeks from the flu.
You're gonna feel something.
People are 4 months, 3 months recovered from corona and are still having adverse side effects months after being in the clear. That shit scares me.
And I don't want to fear monger shit because sure, whatever, 99% of folks are fine from it. I just truly, the point I'm trying to make is it's just as a country, people are so fucking selfish. It's just sad it's sad to see, bro. Bro, how are this many people this fucking selfish?
Well,
go ahead.
So I was gonna say, I saw a report earlier today, and it was saying that researchers are estimating by November, if people were to wear masks, we might be at 160 something thousand deaths, and we're at 135-ish right now. But it's if we continue on the trajectory that we're on right now, it's gonna be well over 200,000 deaths by November. So it's you can save 60, 70,000 lives by just wearing a fucking mask, bro.
And no one wants to.
No one wants to do it, and I think it's just the reality of the world we live in. This pandemic, this racial tension, this president, it is exposing America for the piece of shit country that it was founded in, the foundation of this piece of shit country, and we were able to have the finances of America sort of from the outside looking in, because America's in fucking dead, bad. But on the outside looking in, America looks very rich. It looks very powerful. We have a strong military, a dangerous military.
Yeah. America.
This isn't a good place.
No, America is a dilapidated home with a good paint job.
That's it.
On top of it,
the foundation is has been crumbling, and people are dying in the home. People are dying here, and there's nothing that can be done because the foundation is fucked up. The person who built the home the owner of the home at this current moment is negligent. He don't fix nothing. The landlord don't do it's bad. It's just bad. Like if you really think of it this way, there really is no way of justifying or
America's Section
coming
8
to
housing.
terms with the way that people are acting in this time because
America's Arby's.
it's bad. No, it's real bad.
America's definitely Arby's. No, it's just disappointing. Like I said, I don't want to talk about this too long because it's depressing.
Yeah.
But
It is.
Can we skip the rest of the news section?
Well,
yeah,
we can,
no, I don't know what else is in here.
I kind of want to talk about this. Well, we can. I want to talk about this because the clubs. Shout out to Compound in Atlanta. They put a pool in the middle of the compound. I've been to Compound. That was a fun place.
So have I.
I ain't never put a pool.
I went during. We went during AGP.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was the
I did not
one.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was very drunk. I remember being extremely drunk that night. But at any rate,
Did we really go to fucking Compound? Was there always a pool in there?
No, they put the pool in there for this party.
They put a pool in there for this party.
No, we went to Mansion Align. Is that the same spot?
We went to AGP more than once, Danny. We went to Compound.
I didn't go to the second time.
When we went?
Well, we went. Maybe it was when we went.
Okay, me and you went. Okay, me and you went.
I was pissed broke in that second time.
Compound was a lot of fun. Shout out to everyone who had a thrill out there playing with the Rona and picking up,
So y'all think Keisha was there?
Not just
Keisha, Black Keisha.
Keisha Bottoms popped up with the Rona this week. You think she was at Compound?
Keisha said she got it. Maybe she's at the Compound.
The thing too is, bro, is like there's so many things that we can do that still allows you to see friends and stuff. Like even just outside, back porch, a couple of friends at a time, or some of these comedy shows are doing back porch stuff or open air things with a mask. It's like there's things that sure there's a risk of even being outside in general, and I don't think it's super realistic for us as a country because the whole country is not going to abide by the rules. So like if we as a country all said, look, if Donald Trump said starting August 1st, we're gonna do a 3-week country shutdown, get your fucking groceries and sit the fuck down for 3 weeks. The Rona would be damn near, I know what I'm saying, but hypothetically, like some of these countries actually did.
Oh yeah.
Hypothetically, the shit would be damn near gone, like within, whatever.
Yeah.
So since that's not going to happen, and this is going to exist until there's a cure or a vaccine or whatever, a treatment, then I think there are things that we could do within the middle to like I said, be outside venues, drive up shits, backyard cookouts with a couple people at a time, whatever, like all that kind of shit that a lot of us have been doing this summer that at least been trying to be responsible but also live somewhat of a normal life. Like those things can still happen, but the fact that you have to go from 0 to 100, niggas included too, it's like, bro, y'all are just. And the clubs aren't even that cool for real. To like, I gotta risk Corona to like spend $100, and
no, thank you.
I don't know sports. Fuck this.
What is this WNBA bubble?
So the WNBA is starting their season, and they're doing a bubble just like the NBA. Are you looking at the pictures of it right now?
How can they afford
it? It looks like they stayed in a trap house, bro. Like the laundry room got like mouse traps and roaches in it. It looks disgusting. They treat these WNBA athletes so badly, bro. They get treated like
stuff is bad, y'all. Look, Google WNBA bubble.
Like it's bad, bro.
Why, yo?
I would leave. I wouldn't play in that. I would not stay there. Fuck that season. It's crazy. They get treated like junior varsity athletes.
I mean, they don't. Yeah, I was about to say they don't get paid as is. So the fact that
they don't get paid anything.
For you to expect that it was going to be any better.
But they stay. It looks like they stay at a Motel 6, bro. Like you see the laundry room and everything. Come on, they're professional athletes. At the end of the day,
WNBA still makes money. The WNBA still brings in a check. They can afford to put up. What are they like? 12, 15 teams?
Yeah, it's not that many teams.
Like it's not even a lot of teams.
Look,
like,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I'm not shocked.
See, I am shocked because the WNBA can afford to do better.
Well, they
You're
just
now-
redid their CBA, so I was expecting something a little bit better than this. This is bad, bro.
This is bad. This looks. Oh, look at the food. I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, NBA looking like kings in a bubble.
Yeah, that's
Living
what you
their
call the
lives.
nigga- That's
That
what you
is-
call the
oh
nigga
my
agenda.
God.
I think they will start that season. They will start the restart, but I don't think they'll finish.
No, absolutely.
I don't think it's gonna be
I don't
possible.
know,
Not with
bro.
the surge.
I don't think so.
Some
People
of
who are
these,
asymptomatic, breathing,
Yeah, like breathing all over
sharing
each other.
stuff. No,
the
that
test,
ain't gonna work.
if the testing, the only reason I think so is because so a lot of these, like fighting, for example, they're not necessarily quarantined. They're tested up until,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, but they're not like once they're in the bubble. Like they're really pretty airtight once you get people into the bubble. So
Mm-hmm.
no, the WNBA, I'm not shocked because they're not going to invest the amount of money that they're going to invest to say the NBA.
Yes.
So I think that teams, LeBron and those people, I think if you're opting into this, they're going to find ways to make this work and make it safe and truly keep people contained. If people don't follow the rules, then whatever. But if people
But I'm saying,
abide by the
even
rules,
How do you do that with
all
virus?
the daily testing, you can still have a false negative and have coronavirus. Like
And
you can
have number one,
you can
have
pass the
corona. There are
test.
people who have to go back and forth from that bubble that they.
I don't think
have
it's realistically
out.
gonna
Like,
work,
it's
bro.
not. It's just. I wish I understand what you're saying, Danny. Like, if they have proper precautions and everyone does what they. No,
And they're taking amazing cautions, like the ring and all that.
The ring that they
they're
have,
doing, the shut down the bubble in general. Those are all amazing precautions.
It's so smart, but like you said, Danny, there are dumbass people. It's just not realistic. Like I get what you mean. Like in an ideal utopian society, everything will be perfect.
utopian
but it's just
society.
not happening.
Realistically,
Yeah, I don't know. I think it will, but I mean, also, I'm not gonna.
You're
bet money
also a very great optimist in other ways. Mahomes got a mega
Patrick,
deal.
wait.
500
Champagne.
million. How you get 500?
The largest
10 years.
professional sports contract.
They keep outdoing
In
themselves
history.
year after year. $503 million.
I never thought
over
that football
10.
money was going to catch up with baseball money.
This is
Quarterback money is for
absurd.
sure.
But like even this surpasses any baseball money. Like
I'm sitting here
by a
like, my nigga,
landslide.
just give me a couple, $100. There's let me pay off some shit, man. Like what? Y'all got
it's
all
a
this
long
money.
It's a long ass time.
It is. It's a long contract.
I will say, I don't know if I would.
Contract,
I
but
don't know if I would want to sign for that long.
I wouldn't. I was reading something. It was like he's low key leaving money on the table by signing a 10-year contract.
Right. That's what
But-
Jordan said.
and that's outside of endorsements, though, right?
But yeah, no, this is just from the Chiefs.
This is just for the team. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, it's so much money that
It doesn't at that amount. It doesn't make a difference.
Right. It goes back
It's
to
not-
just
what is
natural
it?
capitalism and like
back
greed.
and
It's
forth
like,
between.
okay, even if I am the 10th highest paid quarterback in the year 7, like I'm still $100 millionaire. Who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Like-
And he's like 24 years old, bro.
Right,
Like it's
you know.
crazy.
That kind of
Absolutely
money.
insane.
And I'm sure he thought about that too. But it's like if I could be the highest paid for the next however many years until maybe Lamar's and them's contract comes up, or if Lamar plays that well, it's like, okay, oh no, I'm only the 4th highest paid quarterback.
And it won't
All
even be
I
an
know
no
is-
thing. He's still making mad money. Like,
Right.
His
Anything-
dad was a professional baseball player.
like
I'm calling my daddy up ASAP and telling him he's a broke boy. As soon as I sign that piece of paper.
like,
Don't you
That's a
ever
lot
talk
of
to me
money. If
again,
I had
broke
that
boy.
much money, I would be a fucking asshole.
I mean, you already
At
are.
24,
and that's the scary.
I'm actually a very nice person in real life. I'm legitimately a nice person. I'm a bit nicer than y'all two, legitimately.
You're
I
nicer than
am.
whom?
Both of you
Daniel, don't say no stupid shit like that now.
guys. I
Don't
am.
you sit up here on
Anyways.
this good Tuesday and
Ask
lie.
people at Elon. You were the mean one, Daddy.
I was no.
Oh my God! Ask
No.
him.
No,
Anybody that went to Elon.
no.
Ask anybody that went to Elon. Danny is
Take
mean.
a survey. We're gonna do a poll after this shit.
That's not true.
Who's the mean one? Damn it.
That is not true. I just didn't talk to everybody. I just didn't talk. That doesn't make me mean.
Hey, all I'm saying is,
Don't lie to the folks and say you're nice into both of us, because that's a lie.
Give me one example of me being mean to people.
I was
not. I just y'all were just more. First of all, y'all had more time. But y'all were just more friendly to just random people.
Just hearing a bunch of excuses
not
here.
a mean person. If people
Boys,
did
what
things
happened in entertainment this week?
if people did things to me, then I'm gonna cuss them out, make fun of them, and potentially fight you. But as far as just everyday
The thing
living,
is this: the difference between Danny and Jada Pinkett is that Jada is woman enough to say, "I'm bringing myself to the red table to talk."
I gotta give me a red table, bro.
To the red table to have a real dialogue and a real discussion about his assholeness. Now, August Alsina said that Jada and Wick
Stick off real quick.
was out here. He said, Will said, it's cool. He said, all right.
That's gonna be a great red table talk, and I'm proud for her for getting this bag off of getting some meat.
I am proud of her.
More viewers. That's
I'm
tight.
proud of. I'm honestly proud of whatever they were experiencing in their home. I think that should have been. Granted, it was bad for August. I see, because he then fell in love.
Cougar coochie.
Do I think? Okay.
You probably giving August. I've seen the Capri Suns and shit after sex. Like you thirsty? This nigga was that bad. Comfortable as hell with Capri Suns and coochie, like and then one day it's like, yo, you can't come back. Like, hold on,
right.
What?
You know,
Packed him to go back at Capri Suns.
He was taking family vacations with them. I love the pictures that we all saw that the people dug up. I love reality. I do. I love the internet.
Could you imagine?
The internet finds everything.
Could you imagine getting coochie and Capri Suns and like Lunchables and shit? And then one day it's like, yo, this is over, actually. Hold on, what? Yeah, this is
my thing is, I don't understand this rollout of his, because
it's messy. That's one thing I would never do.
It's clearly an album rollout, but no one's talking about his album.
This
is like
he did it
the
wrong.
Story
it's
is
a horrible
rollout.
rollout.
The story is more juicy than August Alsina.
Exactly.
August Alsina is not Frank Ocean.
Exactly. I mean, he hasn't had an album in. We were in college.
Frank Ocean he had a hiatus too, but like his album,
it's also
his
Frank
work,
Ocean.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So you can't just. The streets are hungry for it, but it ain't the same.
I think he was in the converse the same, I guess at the same time for me as like Kid Cudi, when not necessarily in that genre of music, but like that style of just like niggas singing about real shit and real experiences. And that's what August was doing in his albums.
Yes.
And so there was a place for him, but Baby Boy got hooked to cougar pussy.
And a lot of niggas are doing that now too. So it's
gosh, I can't believe I said that.
It's not even like he's still able to do something that's different. Like it wasn't lame.
I'm so sorry.
He was one of the first to do it. But no, I think that whole swinger shit is nuts, and I could never do that.
Yeah,
but,
it couldn't be me. But I guess you gotta do what's best for your relationship, your partnership, whatever works for y'all.
Make it funky, make it spicy, make it fun. Do what you gotta do. Like I said, people behind closed doors do all kinds of shit that we don't see.
Whatever floats your boat.
Exactly. Have fun.
If you give your wife additional glizzies, you're a wild ass dude. But who knows? Maybe they're not even barely married. They're just like in a partnership and like, look, we're not.
Marriages are a contractual obligation.
I don't know. I don't know Will Smith either, so I'm not gonna act like I do know. But yeah, him dropping that Capri Sun dick off is wild.
Absolutely hilarious. And let me tell you, I love shit like that.
That is.
Don't call this episode that.
If you hit
right, please do not title the episode.
Let me just say that now. Please do not call.
Do not.
Capri Sun.
No, not even what.
That's what it's called
Colin
when you
Kaepernick,
get some old.
No. Colin Kaepernick signs a first look deal with Disney to elevate Black and Brown directors, creators, storytellers, and producers. That is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing that he is bringing that. I think what it will do is kind of create what the Princess and the Frog did for a lot of little girls who saw themselves as Disney princesses and could see themselves as hardworking, people who are
Representation matters.
Representation matters so much, and so I think I'm very excited for that. Like, Disney definitely appeals to the younger audience, and I think it's a great way of instilling this ability to believe that is something that is obtainable for our younger generations to come. So I am quite pleased.
I'm all for Cap getting his bag. We don't know how much. We don't know how much he got in his little deal with the NFL. That's never gonna come to the light of day. But I'm all for getting these entertainment bags.
Absolutely.
His deal with Netflix and Ava DuVernay. Like I'm
here
for it.
Exactly. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we need to uplift our nigga creators, man. The Tyler Perrys, the Avas. These people are gonna be the ones that. Tyler Perry's already there, and niggas sleep on Tyler Perry. We talked about it before, how much power that he actually has.
Oh, he has.
If we can uplift some more of these giants to really make more
the Kenyas and the.
Another one I saw, kind of going off what you're talking about with representation, Torrance. Matthew Cherry, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him.
Oh, for the hair.
Hair Love. He signed a deal with HBO. Or HBO Max or whatever, same shit.
Oh, nice.
Or to create a animated series based off of Hair Love, essentially.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. That was a beautiful little short.
Yeah.
I was in Georgia, and I guess one of my nephews-in-law, he was on these kids on these tablets and shit. My sister's fiance's nephew. On these tablets and shit. And a lot of these tablets don't have black the cartoons and shit on YouTube. A lot of them are white babies.
Yeah.
If I was an animator, I would just make white baby cartoons on YouTube and baby shark it and be, baby Jordans or whatever the fuck, baby fried chicken, whatever it is. And remix it. And make millions of dollars. Because there's no black babies on these little videos. And it bothers me.
It's upsetting. We need to make more black babies. More black babies.
Fried chicken,
baby content.
Fried chicken,
shout out.
Fried chicken,
shout out.
Fried chicken.
You are canceled. Goodbye.
Watermelon.
Shout out to Queen. Shout out to the Queen. To the Queen Anne-Marie Lastrasi.
Goat.
That's the Queen.
Anne-Marie.
She shut down Coachella, sold out stadiums.
Beyonce.
Yeah, child. That's her new name.
What the fuck she did now?
So
nothing.
I'm tired of these rich ass niggas getting
KW Miller is somebody he's some random Congress person. He's running for Congress in Florida. Said that, I quote, Beyonce is not even African American. She is faking this exposure. Her real name is Anne-Marie Lastrasi. She is Italian. This is all part of the Soros deep state agenda for the Black Lives Matter movement. Beyonce, you are on notice. This is probably the funniest thread of tweets I've ever seen, because
his account's been on fire recently.
Oh my God! Not only does he name Beyonce, but he also says that Patti LaBelle is also a part of the deep state agenda. She's a part of the Illuminati. He says that Beyonce and Patti LaBelle are the name. Those are the people that he's naming. It is absolutely hilarious.
That makes sense.
Again, white people, you really don't make too much sense to me. Not all white people are the same, but some of y'all, woo, man, y'all just be saying stuff. And it really shows. And the problem is that even, granted, yes, we got black people that say stuff like Kanye West, but it's just one Kanye West. Y'all got Congress people and Senate and president.
Y'all got people who are running the country saying shit like this.
That's what I'm saying. These are the people who are in charge saying shit. It's just Kanye, child. He just make music. He got a little bit
it's some ugly ass sneakers.
It's some ugly ass, dinosaur shoes and stuff.
But his latest shits that are coming out, I'm like, what the fuck?
He said something about Pusha T and Drake today.
Did he really?
I want to say that was him that I saw those tweets from.
I've been driving all day.
There's a lot of, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he wild.
I hate niggas, man. I really hate niggas, and I need comedy, because that's what I typically can talk about shit. and get my little shit out and just like, yo, y'all bitch ass niggas, whatever. Now I can't do that. So now you two people on this podcast are my targets.
So it's absolutely hilarious to me.
Okay.
Also, and finally to conclude, Terry Crews hates black people.
Fuck these famous, fuck these famous people. Literally,
I've added him to my mute list.
we need some new famous niggas, and I volunteer.
And I volunteer as tribute, bitch.
We need some new famous niggas, and I guarantee I'll be cooler. I'll have nice clothes. I'll tweet cool things. I'll support other people.
I was a fan of Terry Crews, but you know,
I won't have any sexual assault cases. I'll just be fucking nice and rich. I'll hire women and gay niggas. I'll do all that shit and be rich and make good TV shows and stand up specials. Just let me be famous, because these niggas, we need some new famous niggas.
This is absolutely ridiculous, and they not even really that talented. He just real big, and he can kind of act a little bit. But like, child, there are a lot of people who real strong and big and can kind of act a little bit. Mm-hmm. So get them, hire them up. Fire Terry Crews is crazy as his black hating,
self-hate,
white supremacist ass. Let's get him in that space. And that's
kind of what I was talking about. Is these niggas get some little bit of his wife is mixed or something like that, or is she black?
I think she white. Ain't she white?
She's white.
No, she's at least mixed. I think she's like one of them Creole blacks. I think. I'm pretty sure she's mixed. Look her up. Look her up, Kyle. You look. Yeah,
Rebecca King Cruz. People also ask, what ethnicity is Terry Crews?
I'm pretty sure she's black.
She is black.
Right. So either way, niggas either get these wives or light-skinned wives, or just get a little bit of money and just forget that they forget the nigga agenda. Similar to Kanye.
He's not a black wife. He's still a white supremacist, and he's living his best white life.
The point I'm making. Exactly. The point I'm making is niggas get to a certain point and they forget about the black agenda being a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. That doesn't mean you have to. The fact that you're so insecure in being black that you have to worry about being superior to other races, it's like, nigga, let us get the equal first, and then we can worry about that if that is a worry. But right now, we're fucking down 3-1, my guy. So who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about us being superior, nigga? We're down bad.
And you're just not gonna show up you're not gonna show up?
Let us win a game first, nigga, before you start worrying about winning the championship, nigga.
It's so bad.
Fuck you.
Yeah, and that concludes
corny ass nigga.
The news update.
Fantastic news update. A lot of anger, a lot of misogyny, but it was good. Once again, quick sponsor break. Shout out to Bold Exchange. You go to their website, Bold Exchange. Great place for black owned businesses to shop. Use code 925 for 10% off of your purchase. This podcast is also brought to you by angry black men that drive in cars for 15 hours at a time and have a lot of time to think in their thoughts.
He was just sitting and festering, y'all. Did you imagine?
And I'm musty too. Like, niggas, I think sometimes when you're musty, it's like your animal instincts go to like, man, I could beat somebody's ass right now.
You ain't just
all right, give me 1 second. There is a FaceTime call ringing in the background of my house.
Hey, good job, Kyle. This is fucking ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
We should try to keep this in. Torrance, how you been?
You know, I've been all right, man. Trying to make it. Working hard. Trying to get my life together. We talk about some future projects. I'm going to shout out somebody next week, I think, once things are solidified and I know some more information. But I'm going to shout out some new projects I'm working on and stuff. So
yeah, this is definitely project season. I will say getting laid off was probably one of the best things that's happened to me. And I know it's a pandemic and things are going on, and I know people were saying at first it was like we're gonna sit down for a month and let's figure out some shit, and then life kind of got to us, and so niggas were like, we shouldn't be in a contest to get things done because a lot of shit's going on. And I definitely subscribe to both of those things, but now, excuse me, I'm like in the middle of burping. I do feel like, nigga, we gotta have something to show for this. As fucked up
Absolutely.
as it is, even if what you're trying to do or going to do is purely just for like the cause of Black people, I think it would be a shame for us to go through all this trauma and abnormal living and like have nothing to show for
And then
it.
come out of it and not have a healing.
Right.
What truly, like, from us, like, what can we heal from?
Right. But even just
Not
like
even
like some
a
projects
healing.
though.
But that's what I
saying.
mean. Like, not
Right.
even a healing, like addressing all the things that were happening, but like the manifestation and the creation of Black art that celebrates who we are and our experiences and our stories and our things that we've always wanted to share but didn't have a platform or a space to share it. This is the time to do all that shit, you know? And so that, I think it's very important. I mean, personally for myself, I mean, I'm back in therapy and I'm having great, you know, therapist conversations. And a lot of my work is about investing in myself and who I am as a person and in my talents and my abilities. And part of that is me spending the next 6 months, you know, because I don't plan on going back into anyone's office in the next 6 months, is me working on like my physicalness, right? Like I'm playing around with macros now. Like who would have thought I'm over here trying to make my macros? What? I'm eating multiple meals a day. I gotta get 2,600 and the fat and the carbs and what? I'm tracking all this shit. That's insane to me. But the reality is this is not the time for us to fold. This is the time for us to grow and build. You're not missing anything out there in the world. You're not missing anything that's happening with your friends at the parties. Stay your ass at home, build and grow. That should have been my final thought, but here we are.
No, that's good. That's real shit. And I think because life's going to eventually go on unless the Lord is like, never mind, I'm coming. So, you know, whether it's a year from now or 6 months, whatever it is, things are going to ramp back up. And you don't want a year of your life to have almost just gone for nothing, you know. I don't know. I think
truly say like nothing came from it because I wasn't able to go outside and spend it with other people.
Right. So I definitely think there's time to heal and all this kind of shit. And I think some of that can be substituted with not having to commute and hang around motherfuckers when you don't want to be. Happy hours and stupid shit that happens with having a job or whatever. But I don't know, man. I feel good about what I've been doing this quarantine. I wrote a script from scratch. I've co-wrote another pilot. Submitted my first writer's packet. Like I've been on a couple of like Zoom open mics and shit. And it just feels like I've never done those things before, ever. And it just feels good. I've had conversations with other successful comedians / writers, and it just feels good. Like, you know, like they don't necessarily mean anything right now, but I guarantee you I wouldn't have been able to do these things under normal circumstances. Now, would I also been able to do other things? You know, like go fucking get booked somewhere or whatever? Maybe, probably, likely. But I don't know. With everything going on bad, I feel like we have to like, it's like a renaissance. Like all the bad shit that happened with the Renaissance and Harlem Renaissance and like all this shit. Is like those things lead up to a liberation of like, nigga, we're making art. We're doing this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna call this era the Rona Renaissance?
Hopefully not. And I feel like we were already on somewhat of a Black Renaissance before this shit happened. So,
but I mean, I think I said it like a few episodes ago. I think it's going to be even more so coming out of Corona. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what comes of everything over the next 6 months, a year, 2 years to like final fruition and stuff like that for people.
Real shit. What else you want to talk about?
I had this random question. You know, like so recently with Black people like being seen as people for the first time, kind of in the 400-year history that we've been here, and stuff's changing. Like white voice actors aren't voicing Black characters anymore, and streets getting renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza, and trivial things like that. What are some trivial things that you would want to change for like your day-to-day life now that Black people are being seen as people?
I would like a day for every week to me, it's just trivial. There should be no such thing as a 9-to-5 work week for 5 days a week that we don't work in a factory. But anyway, I think
course.
that we should get a day as Black people that either is on a Friday or a Monday, because it runs right into it, for us, for self-care, because we have generational trauma that affects us in ways that white people can't truly understand. And I mean, honestly, I was told at my job last week that my grief was too loud. I was essentially told that my grief was too loud.
Well, that's too damn bad.
So I said, it's a longer conversation about that, and we won't get into it on this podcast because, whatever. But I think that us having an extra day off from the slave quarters would be a very.
We actually kind of had that at work in the month of June. A lot of departments have moved to kind of summer Fridays at this point, so they're either like stopping work at noon on Fridays or they're not working at all for the most part. And what we did was like our team was going to be kind of on call on Fridays. So we weren't really working, but like if some shit happened, you had to start working. But the Black people on our team just got the day off. Like if some shit popped up, your supervisor would deal with it and you wouldn't have to deal with it and you could just come back to work on Monday. So that was real nice, little reparation.
See, I think
for the month of June.
That right there is a company that is like, the world is affecting you very differently. So let me go ahead and figure out a way to support you. And I think that is something that people don't want to. A lot of companies don't think that they're able to do it because they're like, I don't want to seem like I'm helping.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't want to seem like I'm, playing.
Yeah, and
the field, if you will.
I think the other thing, kind of going off what you were saying earlier, is realistically, I think that the 40-hour work week and the 5-day work week is kind of the next thing that's going to get toppled. I think that we're in this kind of very racially focused climate right now. But I think that as we kind of move more forward towards the class war and kind of redefining what work means in the modern era, because it's already happening with work from home and really being able to work remotely and not needing to be in an office to do your job. I honestly think that it's not going to happen soon, but I think that kind of fighting against the 40-hour work week and the 5 days a week in the office is going to be the next thing that gets fought, because that's based off a fucking factory system from the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, a lot of these parents with kids and whatever, they're, when we do go back, it's probably going to be damn near a year or at least 8 months working from home. It's going to be very hard for people to get used to
going back to
doing what we were doing. And for me personally, I don't necessarily know what I would want to change.
It could be something trivial.
Yeah, I mean, I think, this isn't super trivial, but to your point, I would love to have just flexible Black work hours. And this is something that, I don't know if I've talked to y'all about it, but I always talk about it with Ashley and even my parents. It's like, I don't come from 9-to-5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's caused stress and a lot of happiness in my life, from having a lot of money to not. But overall, you go to my grandparents on my mother's side. My grandmother was a stay-at-home mom, and she had jobs here and there, but career-wise, never was like, had 30 years at something, like, whatever.
No one was like really punching a clock in and out.
She worked when she had to, when she was single, but other than that, she wasn't really working. My grandfather, my mom's father, was a builder, a contractor. He built homes and remodeled shit. So he never had 9-to-5. My dad's mother, she was a nurse, so she did have a 9-to-5. My grandfather was a preacher. So, and then my dad played football and then had 9-to-5s on and off here and there. Also had entrepreneurial, large gaps in his professional life. Mm-hmm. And then my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and then was in beauty, nails, esthetician shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, had little bouts of like having 9-to-5 shit. So long story short, it's not in my DNA to be a 9-to-5, 5 days a week person. And this time away from work has been so rejuvenating, and it does come from a place of privilege of having a good job before and having money saved up and being able to afford to sit my ass down for 3 4 5 months relatively easily, and also having unemployment helps. But
Yeah. I think that
huge.
some places are starting to do stuff like that. Like my previous job before I was at the nonprofit I'm at now, when I was back in LA, they had started introducing flexible work hours. So instead of working 9 to 5, you could start at 8 and end at 4, or you could start at 7 and end at 3. And it was like a discussion you had to have with like your manager to get sign off on it. But I've noticed that some companies are starting to go to that model, because like realistically, there's only but so many hours during the workday when there's like peak productivity, when you really need to get shit moving. Like after 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
most people start clocking out anyway. Like it's
But
nothing's happening at that point in the
the
day.
problem is that I think that is something that, at least in our current system right now, I don't think that'll go anywhere, because people are about, like, people aren't about looking out for people in a very
No.
human way.
I think it
And
takes
like,
very progressive workplaces where they value their employees and like
and
the
they're going to be
actual
few and
well-being
far
of their
between.
employees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
no.
I
This is
think-
going to be a very grassroots movement.
Yeah.
I think, Torrance, to push back on that, I think I agree what you're saying, but also once they realize that these things do improve productivity, similar, like if you asked our parents 25 years ago, a company offering you food and having games and bullshit at the office
Will make
and
no
gyms at
sense.
the office, that hell no. And, you know, ask your uncles and parents that worked at the post office and other plant jobs. So I think, and we understand now that these things, having lunch and shit at the office gets people to work longer because they don't have to think about going somewhere. They can work right up until they eat, and they can go right back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
right
what I'm
after.
saying. The mentality of that is to make people work more. It's not so that there's this level of, oh, we're trying to think of the well-being of the person. Like, not realistically. It's about making people work more, distracting people from what's actually happening, which is why I'm like, I don't think, that's why I still stand by what I said. Like, it doesn't seem like to me that this is something that, and thinking very like capitalistically American, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in other countries, yeah, sure, like maybe some UK shit or European shit, like maybe. But America is about that money. Period.
I think
That's it. We want to work people to their dogs, and we want to get as much money as we can squeeze out of them. And then when they die, replace them immediately with someone else to fill their space.
Well,
It really
yeah.
isn't about the care of people. It's not about healthcare. It's not about making sure that people feel comfortable. It's about getting as much as we can out of them before they pass.
Well, I think
That's
that one thing with
that's my thought of America.
I think the one thing with the Rona is that people are really reevaluating what it means to work for a company. And like, it's not just me going to them for a paycheck, but it's like, I need to be taken care of as a holistic human being. So I think slowly, very, very slowly, I think we will start to see a shift. I know that Microsoft did a pilot program in their Japan office, I think it was last year, where for like a 3-month period, they went to a 4-day work week or something like that. And productivity jumped like 40% or some ridiculous amount of numbers. So I think that like, I think it's gonna take like a big company like a Microsoft or like a Procter and Gamble to make a momentum shift. It's gonna take one big company.
I agree. I get what you're saying.
But I fully understand what you're saying, Torrance.
I think you guys
From
a
a capitalistic perspective, I fully understand what you're saying.
I do not have hope in this country.
The point I'm trying to make is that I agree with what you're saying. But the point I'm trying to make is that what they're going to realize is that it does improve productivity. If me as a company say I can hire one less facilities person, I can spend 10% less on utilities to keep lights on and shit. If I can spend whatever, and then also maintain the same productivity or even get more because my employees are happier and they're staying longer. If they can prove that, it's not, it's going to be under the guise of, this is for you. We give you flexible hours.
It's going to be for them.
Like even like unlimited PTO, all these things that like on paper they look cool to the guys. It's not necessarily because they truly care about the employees. It's because they end up getting more productivity out of it, and more productivity could mean we have more time and they get more what they want. So it could be a mutually, beneficial situation. But I think like I said, going back to food places, even offering food and all inclusive campuses for work, it could happen if the dollar amount provides.
So what's funny is like with the trivial question I was asking you, like I was gonna say something like I want a line in stores that's just for Black people, like a fast pass, so I can just skip the line. You know what I'm saying? Because Black people stayed in a line for 3 minutes, and we asked, "What the fuck's going on here?"
What do you have?
What are they doing back there?
What are they buying up there? They buying the whole damn store. I love us.
So I want a fast pass for Black people at all stores, so we can just skip to the front.
Fucking line, bro. I'm furious. Like, nigga, all I have is a granola bar and fucking wine. Let me.
I gotta go grocery shopping.
And I try to pay it forward with people. Like when I see that they have like 2 things and I have like an entire cart, I'll usually try to let someone in front of me. But it's never the opposite way around. It's never the opposite way around. But,
no. What are we watching? Are we watching anything tight?
I haven't really been watching anything new.
I finally finished How to Get Away with Murder season 6. I am honestly extremely impressed. Like,
do you approve of Shonda's ending?
Not like I wasn't impressed originally, but I do approve of Shonda's ending. I think it's a very it's a good way to end the show that close all the loops that it's like maybe
I'm gonna go
like
back
that.
and rewatch it one day.
Like it's like the ending of it was just like it closed the loops. Like this person came back and then this person came back and child, when I saw that child walk through at Danny, you ain't never gonna watch it, are you?
Good Way Murder now.
Yeah, when that child walked through the fume and he looked just like Wes, I said, oh, I was literally like, that's what kept me up all night trying to figure out who the hell he was and to the end. And it was great. To me, it was really, really nice. I liked the nice ending that it did. It was nice. I think it would have been crazy if it would have ended in a, dramatic way that it could have ended how every other episode or every other season had ended. But for it to be the series finale, I think it ended very
That's good. I've been looking for a new sitcom to start, like a new 30-minute episode sitcom, just because I need something I don't have to pay super attention to, but I'll get some chuckles out of it and stuff. So
I can send you a few of those. Yeah, I do have a few of those that I'll be watching on the Netflix and the Hulu. I'm sure you've watched Dave already.
Yes, I seen it.
On Hulu. I've also...
That's great.
We can talk offline.
We can talk offline.
Yeah.
What you mean?
Nothing. So we'll do that. What are you watching, Daniel? I'm going to watch The Warrior Nun.
That looked halfway interesting.
That looked halfway interesting. So I was like,
I'm not watching this.
Witchy shit.
I'm not watching this, but I know Ashley is. I watched one episode. It was kind of a lot. But Let Me Destroy You, or May I? What is?
Oh my God! May I Destroy You?
Yeah,
I have not seen it yet. With Michaela Cole, I have not seen it yet.
It seems to be really good. Black chick. So this is probably
love
gonna be the next thing I watch.
Love her.
She's very good.
She's so great. She did
The Shy as well.
Yep.
Funny thing about The Shy is it's so funny. How different this season is. What?
I said I'm not caught up, but you go ahead. I'm gonna watch it later.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I didn't watch this.
But as uncomfortable as I'm sure it makes some niggas, Lena said, "Look, I'm gay or queer, and I'm gonna put a lot of queer shit in here because that's what the fuck I represent." And I'm not mad at her for that shit. It's definitely not I'm used to seeing this shit, or I'm not gonna lie, but I'm still a devout watcher of the show. But I respect that. Any nigga that look, I want people that I see or things that I'm a part of to be front and center on shit that I make. I ain't mad at you.
Absolutely. I started watching Perry Mason on HBO, little detective show set in the 30s. It's kind of interesting. 30s in LA. Kind of interesting. 3 episodes so far.
Gotta be very white.
There's a couple of one of the Black dudes who is in When They See Us, the Ava DuVernay Central Park show. He's in it with kind of a main role, but relatively white, yeah. But it is what it is. Anything else? Closing thoughts? Final thoughts?
Take a shower today. You hear this? Take a shower.
You go take a shower when we get out the booth. Do not pass go. Go straight to the shower.
I'm waiting on you.
Don't collect $200.
Invest in yourself. Period.
That's a good one.
And in Forex. If you're that's the last. If that's the last sponsor of this episode. If you're interested in making passive income, if you listen this far, that means you've won the prize. Email us at what's Kyle's email? KSG.
No, I mean, that's not my email address, but no, don't even try it.
and send your deposit for Kyle's masterclass. Kyle's Forex. That should be the name of this episode. Kyle's Forex Masterclass.
Please do not do that.
I need to do that. I'm tired, bro. Anything else?
My final thought is Daddy's an idiot. I love you all. Keep being great in Corona, beating his ass. Do what you gotta do to survive.
I looked on the poll you made, who's the meanest, and you already have 2 votes.
Did you and Ashley vote?
I don't know.
He made a poll. I'm so excited.
So we
don't know.
With.
All right, friends and family and other listeners, thank y'all for listening. God bless.
Deuces.
Peace.